with the Hood Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.
45 Goals of Communism in America and how they plan to fundamentally change our society. I was derived from a book called The Naked Communist by W. Cleon Skousen, who was a CIA agent. And you look at those 45 goals, it was things like gaining control of the public school system and the teacher unions so that you could indoctrinate the kids, gaining control of the news media and Hollywood so that you could manipulate the opinions of people, denigrating the role of the family, denigrating the role of the church, getting into the churches and changing the real gospel to the social gospel, making sexual perversion normal, natural, and healthy.
How far away from that are we now, do you think?
It's one of the reasons that Khrushchev was so confident when he talked to Eisenhower and said that your grandchildren's children will live under our system. We won't have to fight a war because we think we won the Cold War. But they had a much better plan on how to actually change us, and we're falling for it.
Trans women getting pregnant is not as far off as you'd think. In the past 10 years, 50 babies have been born from a uterus transplant. How this works is a person with a damaged or missing uterus gets a new uterus. Then they get pregnant, then they give birth to a child via C-section. The implanted uterus is then removed so that the person doesn't need to be on anti-rejection meds for the rest of their life. So far, these implants have only been attempted on cis women, but there's nothing that says it couldn't work on a trans woman. After all, my hormone levels are pretty similar to a cisgender woman, so why not? The main thing in the way is that the science is new, so there aren't enough surgeons out there to do the testing. So it's less about if we can do it and more about when we can do it. Imagine a trans woman using her own DNA along with her partner's egg to create life. Wouldn't that be incredible? Some researchers think it's already possible and that it'll be attempted in the next year or two. Now, to be clear, I don't want kids. And even if this was an option, I wouldn't be interested. But there are so many trans women out there who want this, and they have just as much of a right to pregnancy as anyone else. Let's get this thing off. Oh. See, it was fake.
Hi everyone, it's Kamala Harris. Each day we are seeing our rights and freedoms under attack, including the right of everyone to be who they are, love who they love, openly and with pride. So as we fight back against these attacks, let's all remember, no one is alone. We are all in this together, and your vote is your power. So please make sure your voice is heard this November and register to vote at vote.gov.
Can I get an amen?
Amen! Now on with the show.
And remember, you better vote.
And one of the things that we're dealing with in science is I don't know how to say it exactly, brainwashing at scale.
Yep.
Where you cause people to see something, they know it's not true, but they know that somehow to say, well, that's not true, and I wonder what is true, is to cross a chasm into opening all sorts of questions that they're not prepared to deal with. Now, right now, you and I are living through the crumbling of a crazy narrative that got pushed out. Joe Biden is absolutely fine. He's completely in command of the situation.
Yeah.
And it makes no sense. He's now abandoning his re-election campaign to focus on the presidency, which he does not appear to be able to carry out.
Yeah.
I want to turn this and ask you, how are we living through something this mind-blowingly stupid? This is basically a confession that everybody who was told that you're crazy, you're a Trumper, you don't understand reality, the president is absolutely fine.
Yeah.
All of us who've been told we were nuts have suddenly been told you're not nuts.
Yeah.
But the machine is going to continue to go on and lie to us. And furthermore, there was no primary.
The majority of Americans see it. They feel it. And when I say the majority, I think it's 70%. Very, very clearly see this and feel it, and they're not okay with it. And then you have 20% that will vote blue no matter who, because they are so deeply programmed to. And, we don't have to get into the power of modern day programming and mind control, but that exists.
But it exists in me. So, for example,
yeah,
I can't get over the idea that I'm still a crazy person because for 4 years I've been saying that Biden is not fit cognitively to be in the Oval Office.
But that's the risk of this technique, is that you disenfranchise the individual's capacity to trust themselves.
All of us.
Yeah.
And so what I'm looking
that's what's at play right now.
But how is it that I'm still under this spell? I mean, I've clearly broken from this thing. I've been talking about this for 4 years. There is no vindication. There is no absolution. There's no apology. The system is simply going to try to go and anoint Kamala Harris as if there was a democratic process in place, which I want to get into this. This is mind control at scale.
It's mind control. Well, it's making mistakes, showing your hand at making the mistake, and then offering no redemption to the people
Zero.
That have known the truth all along. And that's, we had talked about this concept of redemption, that if we were going to really restore the heart of this country, and if we were really going to set up the conditions for a prolific, indefinite human future.
Yeah.
Redemption is a key piece of that.
Redemption, but also exoneration, because a lot of people, I don't require redemption in this case. I require...
I think you do, though, but go on.
Well, because I don't think I did anything wrong. In other words...
But you were made...
But this is what I'm trying to say.
Every effort was to make you feel wrong.
A person wrongly accused needs to be exonerated.
Yes.
But
who is going to offer you that exoneration?
Well, so this is my question, which is, what do I make of institutions? Think about the level of collaboration needed for no psychiatrists, no geriatric medicine specialists, Parkinson's specialists, no neurologists, nobody in the inner circle. I mean, more or less, it's like Murder on the Orient Express, where all of the experts were colluding to pretend that the bad people were the people speaking the truth, who worried about not having a functioning president while we're in a half proxy war with Russia, with a thermonuclear capacity. I mean, I can't.
Yeah.
How is this guy staying in office till November?
Everybody dies, but not everybody lives.
Time to tap in now.
My mind right, money right, yeah. Ready for war, nigga, we ready for y'all.
You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic.
Let me see those hands in the air.
You are now tapped in
Everybody jump.
with the Hood Mystic.
Peace to the tribe, peace to the collective, man. I'm just so happy to be here with you guys, have a conversation about something that's near and dear to my heart. However, before we go any further, let's just clear the air. Trigger warning, man. I'm going to be kicking it real. I'm going to be kicking it raw. And a lot of people not going to like what I got to say. based upon the circumstances that they might find themselves in or out of. But the reality is that, you know, once I'm led to speak on a certain subject, I'm going to give it to you exactly how I'm going to give it to you. And a deeper reality is this: everything that I'm saying is going to be out of love and compassion. I see how this shit works with clear vision, and I want to help illuminate other people to see, to see how it works in their life. You know, the reality is that men and women, they truly, truly need each other. So whatever sacrifices that you have to make, um, it's not settling when you are learning how to resolve conflict. It's not settling when you are trying to learn how to balance and grow and live for something greater than yourselves. But before we go any further, give a round of applause. Give a round of applause for yourself. You know, you might go through this whole day and nobody claps for you. Let today be the day that you clap for your damn self. You feel me? Yes, yes. Please like the video, share the video, let people know what's going on, because what we doing here is for sure doing the work. All right. So let me just do some quick upkeep. Today we're talking about mass hysteria. And quite frankly, y'all, this has been something that have been taking place ever since I was a little boy, and probably before it. I would say around civil rights. What did Martin Luther King say? Martin Luther King said that he integrated us into a burning building. But let me just see if that's a real quote or if I'm just bullshitting. How y'all doing today, man? Put a ones in the chat if y'all here with me. Let me know y'all can hear me. Things of that nature. So we just gonna get right into the shit. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, "I fear I am integrating my people into a burning house." Okay. That's where we are at. We are in a burning house. And the ways for which that we are in this burning house is through mass hysteria. Mass hysteria is a spirit that has infected the womb, the matrix of brown and black indigenous people in this world, from the motherland to the mainland. The minds, the connection to earth, to the plants, to the herbs, to the minerals, to the practices have been completely forgotten through hypnosis. Hypnosis through the movies, hypnosis through the entertainment, and hypnosis through the music. Hypnosis through the literature, hypnosis through the education system. These people know who you are and they know who they are. You're striving to be in a burning house. So we're going to look at the energies for the day. And yeah, man, I just want to have an authentic share with the collective. I've been wanting to do daily energy readings, but I've been super busy because at whiterabbitpsych.com, we've been doing the buy one, get one off microdose capsules. And yeah, I haven't had time to, wash my ass. I just took a shower today. So yeah, I took a shower, got my mind right, money right. Now I'm ready for work. But if you want to take advantage of this, you can get 60 capsules. This is the last day, mind you. Yeah, I'm not ever working that hard ever the fuck again. Okay. This is the last day. I don't know if I'll ever do this sale again, but this is the last day. That's all I'm gonna say. And if you want to tap in, be sure to tap in whiterabbitsite.com. The link is in the description. Now that the business is out the way, let's look at the chart. We have the sun in Cancer, opposed Pluto in Capricorn. And this is what I want us to take a look at, because when we look at Cancer, we're looking at the mother. We're looking at the ocean, the emotional body. And when we actually tune in and tap into the emotions, are your emotions abundant or are your emotions in lack? Simplifying this, if you seek abundance, that means you're okay with being in lack. If you already have abundance, then you only do the things that substantiate, maintain, or assist in others establishing an abundant mindset themselves. So this whole game is a mindset game. The mindset equates to the emotions. If you don't change your mindset, you're not going to be in control of your emotions. And when you're not in control of your emotions, you tend, when they say you know better, you do better, you'll find yourself saying, it's better for me to be single because I'm not even equipped. You might spaz out on your ex. No, you're in the wrong, but maybe you could just move on or some stuff like that. And the reason why we can look at this from a relationship angle is because Pluto is in the father space, the transcendent father, the transcendent masculine energy. Because what we might confuse masculine, divine masculine with is the patriarchy. The patriarchy is not Capricorn. If you look at the mythology, what does Saturn do? This is an educational moment, so let's deal with this. What does Saturn do? Saturn kills Uranus, his father. He chops him. If y'all ever seen the Uranus Explained video, Saturn, he mutilates Uranus, cuts him off at the nuts, like takes all of his power, all of his glory. So once again, when we talk about the patriarchy as divine masculines, the patriarchy and colonialism has affected you because it has disconnected you from your divine masculine rites of passages that would have walked you into the proper ways of manhood. Without the rites of passage, you can more likely grow up to be feminine. All my ladies out there, have y'all ever, one's in the chat, ladies, have y'all ever dealt with a man? Once you got to know him, his emotional life was very feminine. One's in the chat. He handling problems the same way that you handling problems. He crying more than you crying. Have y'all ever dealt with a man that is emotional? If you ever dealt with a man that's emotional, this lets you know that the patriarchy affects men and women. It probably would do more to masculine because the masculine has to actually develop into something. Like, of course, we all do, but if we're under the assumption that the patriarchy helps men and hurts women, then the ways for which men are disenfranchised and hurt and outcasted and lambasted, it just probably doesn't, it's just no words to describe it. So therefore, like, it was a certain point in my life when I was a young man that I just knew I was going to prison. And you got to think about the psychology where your body begins to prepare for something that is so abnormal and so unnatural, but the conditioning is going to lead you there anyways. And so when we look at it, we have to understand that there is a class of people that want to take you the fuck out, period, through conditioning. And so the ways for which it will completely wipe the man out, all right? But what does it also do to our women? Trigger alert. It makes women want to become men because there is no man. If you heard me, put a 1 in the chat. Because we're also dealing with the sun sextile Mars. And Mars and Taurus oppose where it is exalted at in Scorpio. So when you look at Taurus energy and you look at Scorpio energy and you look at Mars, this is an educational point to whereas, all right, Hood, what are you talking about? Mars rules sexual organs. Mars is associated with sexual energy, libido. You can clock that. Scorpio rules reproductive organs. You can clock that. So what does Taurus rule? Taurus rules the throat. One's in the chat if you ever got some throat or some neck in a sexual manner. Okay, you can clock that as well. So when we look at Mars, Taurus, Scorpio axis, sextile sun, you begin to start to see like the goddess of Taurus. The goddess is encapsulating Uranus, Mars, Jupiter, meaning that the spell has to break. The spell has to break. If you like, so if a man is not there and you're in the world, you're going to have to become a man. Ideology-wise, succinct and sound. Biologically wise, though, big problem, big issue. Now you're susceptible. Now you're open for suggestion. How the hell I'm gonna do this? Well, such and such over there is hired. You can go to school. You can walk the track. You can get on OnlyFans. You got a whole bunch of options. But when we talk about the spiritual, biological, natural processes, this is where I want to challenge and bring restorative energy to the divine feminine as well as the divine masculine, because the divine masculine and the divine feminine is suffering because nobody is giving it to you straight. Nobody giving it to you straight. Nobody is solving the problem or replacing the enigma or solving the mystery of what the fuck. But with some decoding and some understandings, and when we look at an astrology chart, best believe we could study a variety of different aspects and planets. Today, I want to be very succinct, very clear, very direct, and deal with this Sun sextile Mars, and of course, Neptune sextile Pluto. Because when we deal with Neptune sextile Pluto, we're in effect dealing with 2 generations of women. We're dealing with the Kamala Harrises of the world, and we're dealing with the Sexy Reds of the world. I was going to show a video of the Detroit Baddies audition, the Zeus Baddies audition, but I didn't want YouTube to flag it for fighting. Hundreds, if not thousands, of women, all women, fighting so much that the security guards was basically saying, all right, just as long as y'all don't jump each other, y'all hoes can fight. Now I want to flip it. A bunch of men fighting so much, thousands of men, no regulations, no rules, just thousands of men fighting. How quick is the guns being pulled? How quick does that turn into a tragic situation? Now let's flip it back. It's the same tragedy. Because I'm telling you, it's so many women that is really setting themselves up for failure by simply trying to be men, trying to walk in men's spaces. Let's talk about politics. Historically, politics is male dominant. Let's talk about rap. Historically, rap is male dominant. Let's talk about sports. Historically, male dominant. Now, these are male dominated spaces. The desire to want to be in a male dominant space, ideologically, it is sound. Biologically, spiritually, astrophysically, it is not sound, because your biological process, the way that you are made, is completely different than a man. So the things that you must do on a daily basis, when you decide to be a modern human that works 8 hours a day, you better make sure that you're taking care of your biological systems as well. Because if you don't, you run the risk of them. We talk about this so much, but it's just still astounding to me. Now we're talking about the throat. So one thing is hypothyroidism. How prevalent is thyroidism? Statistics. Nearly 5 out of every 100 people 12 years and older have hypothyroidism. And one of the most prevalent drugs, probably like the 3rd most used drug in the world, is thyroxine. 21 million Americans, approximately 23 million Americans take levothyroxine. And then let's talk about this. Hysterectomy. A hysterectomy is the 2nd most common surgery performed on women in the United States. That's not an accident. That's not God. That's not God right there. That's not God right there. That's not God for 500,000 to 600,000 women to have their uterus removed. That's not God. Why would that happen? Why would God put a body together to say, oh yeah, once you get to a certain age, we gonna have to create this profession where they will save women's lives by taking out their uterus? No, this is mass hysteria. This is a plan to take you out the game. It's a certain class of people. Now, this whole science comes from Black women. And if you heard this before, I got to say this for people who never heard me say this before. What is the history of OBGYN? The Black subjectivity. And listen, y'all love y'all OBGYNs. My personal opinion is that the motherfuckers can go to hell, man or woman. Okay? The whole science, the whole genre can go to hell. This is my personal opinion. Right? Because it is a way to live in reference to understanding your biology, maintaining and understanding when your biology is off. Y'all know we y'all grandma used to say go to hell. One's in the chat if y'all grandma ever said go to hell. What did go to hell mean? Go to hell meant whatever you just said, nigga, I supersede that with absolutely get the fuck out my face. Like go to hell. That means grandma done. Right? And this mentality is really more or less gone, where people just kind of accepting and loving and wanting to be a part of something that is so vicious. James Merriam Sims, the father of modern gynecology, beginning in 1844, Sim famously performed his experiments on enslaved women in Alabama, including Anarcha, Lucy, and Betsy, who he leased, meaning he bought these women as slaves so he could study their body, bro. Study their uterus, study their womb. Create a system, create a science off of this shit. And then double back, goddamn 600,000 people a year. It's just like, I think I need a hysterectomy. And when we do events and we talk about this, and women be like, man, I heard a woman say, women parts are the devil. I'm like, why would you think that way about your body? My whole life, women hate their periods. Oh, I got a period. And then you get Judica Illis's book. This is study purposes. Like, there's some people that watch this channel that still don't got this book. There's some people that listen to Bobby Hammett and still don't got this book. Talking about they love Bobby. Well, you got to get this book. The Encyclopedia of Spirits. When you read this book, and she start talking about goddess worshiping, guess what every goddess basically is connected to? Menstruation. Judica Illis, Encyclopedias of Spirits, the ultimate guide to magic of fairies, genies, demons, ghosts, gods, and goddesses. They all dealing with goddamn menstruation. So imagine this, your goddess force energy, super powerful shit you could be working with, balancing it, understanding it. Motherfucker said, no, fuck that shit. I hate this shit. I hate my period. Like you hate the goddess then. You hate your power. See how that worked? And then the Tampax, tampons, maxi pads, all got chemicals in it. Make that make sense. It's a certain class of people that want to take you out the motherfucking game. And if you don't understand, we used to talk about this shit and it used to be hocus pocus because niggas be at their jobs like, well, nigga, you just broke, you just this, you just that. And it's like, okay, cool. But how you feeling internally with that job and that money that you're making and that house you got? It all start to get a little redundant after a little bit, don't it? It start to get a little bit, oh yeah, it felt good when you showed off that new car, didn't it? I got a new car. Then you started paying $700 for insurance, $700 for the note. You get paid $1,000 a week. that shit get a little redundant. And then you just be wondering, like, I know this nigga got a good ass job. Why he doing DoorDash too? Because he got to pay. He doing DoorDash, making $100 a day so he can pay a motherfucking bill. And then niggas be like, man, I don't even know about that spiritual shit. At a certain point, y'all niggas gonna get y'all ass kicked so damn bad, y'all gonna be looking like, damn, you've been talking about this shit for years, hood. You've been talking about working with your altar for years, hood. You've been talking about psychedelics for years, hood. I was like, yeah, I was just doing it for my health. Enjoy that motherfucking job, though. It's gonna get redundant as fuck at a certain point, and you gonna be like, well, what's a demon? How can I utilize a demon for my benefit? All you can. It's all types of spiritual shit that you can utilize for your benefit right now. It's all types of shit you can utilize. This book costs goddamn, it's not even $20. It's a big ass, like this book don't even cost $20. Think about that shit. Y'all see the price? Hardcover, $16.86. You can read the beginning chapter before she start getting into the spirits. She basically break down how to work with spirits. It's a money spirit in there in this motherfucking book. A money spirit you can work with. No, what would you rather do? Man, I'm getting my ass kicked by this job, hood. I can't stand. I'm trying to figure out how I can live a better life for me and my family. You know, you ever did some witchcraft? No, I be too busy working, hood. I be too busy working. You ever did a spell for real? Like for 9 days, did a spell? Like did a spell? It told you to get 9 candles. You bought 9 candles, right? You ever followed your intuition and did some spiritual shit? Motherfuckers holding you back in life? Bind their asses. Bind their motherfucking arms to their fucking hips. Wrap a, like, get a Barbie doll, a Ken doll. Your motherfucking boss getting on your fucking nerves. Yo, like when we talk about spells, it is like we got to understand there's no such thing as a fact. There's no such thing as reality. Once you crack that code and you understand that it's laws that govern this reality, universal laws, criminal laws, civil laws, financial laws, corporate laws. You break the law, you subject to whatever. But if you understand the law and work within and around the law, you could become successful. Now, when we talk about actual things that can happen in life, it's going to require your action, Mars. So that's what people get it fucked up when they talk about like doing spiritual spells and that shit, because it's almost as like it don't work. If you do a spell, right, and you're like, I want this thing to happen. I want to fall in love with a boy, right? And you do a spell and you don't never holler at a boy that you like, you would assume that the spell don't work. If you do a money spell and you say, I want money to come to me, and you don't open up a Shopify and learn about how to run a Shopify course, you might be under the assumption that the spell didn't work. When we talk about action, we talk about Sun sextile Mars, we talking about action. One of the things that is the most important aspect to all of this spiritual shit is what is your responsibility? What is your role in making sure that it comes to light? Sometimes a spell, you might have to do 99% of the thing. And that 99% of the thing that you're doing is that guide or ghost or ghoul or entity that's saying, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that. And you have to act on doing this and doing that, but you are being spiritually guided the whole time. And it's a certain way that we know that this is happening because we start getting into our own personal understanding of how this shit works. So once again, if I say something that is real and you say that is fake, you're right, I'm wrong. Because I'm not going to ever argue with nobody about reality, because at the end of the day, I know for a fact that I got to take care of myself. Because I've been in spaces where I've thought incorrectly about the world, and the world be right there to kick your ass. So when I see people, I'm like, damn, life might have kicked his ass before, and now he know better, so you do better. And the ways that we always try to think about, like, karma. Somebody asked me yesterday, was like, should we deal with entities and energies versus dealing with your soul? Always deal with your soul. But I was just bringing this up because so many people in real life hate their menstruation in real life. But if you read this book and you see that all of the goddesses deal with menstruation, and you can start to see how patriarchy works in making you hate your menstruation, hate all of this shit, and really that's your power. And I would look at all of these goddesses as aspects of the individual that's experiencing them, documenting the stories. It might be that Zeus is just a person's pineal gland. It might be that Medusa is just your menstruation, or Artemis is just your menstruation, or Diana is just your menstruation, or Oshun is just your menstruation. And motherfuckers will be like, it's all these different goddesses and all this different shit. No, it's just your body, your biology that you don't give a fuck about because you too busy working at that 9 to 5. You too busy up under somebody, like into friends and having family or doing this thing, that we learn so much about the world, we don't really know much about ourselves. And so I feel like it's a reason. I feel like we are in a system which is mass hypnosis or mass hysteria. So this is an article from Matthias Desmond. Now, I knew this shit was cooked during COVID, right? One's in the chat if shit was cooked during COVID. If y'all notice how shit has shifted during COVID as far as the mind control, everybody wearing masks, everybody, staying 6 feet away from each other. Motherfucker, people was really, I'm sure you lost somebody during COVID as well. So that was just another layer. That was just another layer of this, I guess, mass hypnosis, mass psychosis. They utilize a different level because they had the phones, right? And this is the quote that I just wanted to read, and I want to get into more of the root of this conversation. Among many surprising psychological and social phenomena we witnessed during the COVID-19 epidemic, there was an often radical polarization of public opinion and discourse, right? And so I really want you to sit back and think about how you could see some bullshit happening and people in your family and friend circle almost be ready to disown you. Like what used to be, you ever be with your family and y'all go back and forth. Beyonce ain't better than Kelly, right? Kelly is way better than Beyonce. Like that'd be like banter between the family. Fast forward 2020, 2021, 2022, you realize like, damn, I can't even really talk to this motherfucker for real. This is crazy. This motherfucker, cuckoo, Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs. That is hypnosis hysteria. That is hypnosis. Okay? And you got to think about it. Suggestible mind being contorted and twisted to act almost like a zombie. And it's like, when I look at Kamala Harris, people will then say, oh, so you just going to vote for Trump? No, that's not what I'm saying. That's some bullshit. Voting for somebody because they're a particular race and a particular gender, that's some bullshit. The way the world is, we need to deal with these issues. And I'm not even saying that I would believe anybody who said anything, but at least lie to me in a good way. Tell me what you gonna do. You know, I like that. That turns me on a little bit. How's your campaign, your gender, and your race? It's issues that, just make your campaign be about what you're going to do. Pretty simple. But I feel like it's like you don't even have to do that no more. You can just play on people's mental, because a lot of people are hypnotized. Of course, I got the solution. I don't do videos without solutions. So I'm going to lay out the problem as I see it with statistics, and then I'm going to give you things that I provide through my business that have been a solution for people who take part in the solution. But the problem is what the problem is, and the solution is what the solution is. But at the end of the day, we are facing a big divide, was casted in a simplistic opposition between real scientists, progressives, and supporters of government policies on one hand, and pseudoscientists, populists, conspiracists, imposters on the other hand. And I feel like this right here is what saved people's lives. If it wasn't for people saying, nah, this shit ain't right, everybody would have just went with it. They'd have just went for it. Just now, in life, I feel like if you see something and that shit ain't right, if you don't say nothing about it, that makes you complicit as fuck. That make me think that maybe you under mind control too. And, a lot of this shit is a quick study, but this is a long article. But it just got me to thinking. I was just really looking for something that was going to be like, I know that I'm just not looking at this world, seeing all of these girls fighting, seeing everybody trying to make it in this world, and nobody really is in the space of like coming together. For real. Not even wanting to come together. Like a lot of times when you like meet somebody and they'll just be like, I'm single, that'd be what they want. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, I'm single. And they'd be mighty attractive. You like, you single? Yeah, I'm single. Like it's not even a thing that they even open to anymore. And I feel like that's a part of the plan as well. According to this Belgian scientist, most of us have turned mad through what he describes as mass formation hypnosis, and in some of his interviews, even mass formation psychosis. So I love this word. I use it a lot, but I don't think I ever break it down for people. Psychosis is when you separate it from your soul. Psychosis is when you separate it from your intuition and your spiritual development. a mental affection or derangement. Because coming from psych, meaning mind, life, soul, osis, an abnormal condition or separated from. When you suffering from psychosis, that means you suffering from the connection from your guidepost, from your soul. And so I will hope that you will understand the difference between psychosis and psychology. Psychology is the study of your soul. How does one do effective psychology? You do effective psychology through meditation. This is how you study your soul, through the breath, right? And this is how you get out of whatever weird phenomenons that life have put you in. So what is hysteria? Hysteria is a nervous disease. Now, when we talk about chakras, we're talking about the spine. So when Jesus died at 33, talking about raising kundalini. You're not talking about a man that was walking in Middle East, giving people water, giving people fish. Like, hey, we about to throw a fish fry tonight. Oh, Jesus is a cool ass nigga. No. We're talking about raising kundalini, developing spiritual intelligence. So raising the chakras is healing an innate nervous condition. Because when we talk about the spine, how is the spine related to nerves and kundalini? I have no idea. I went to public school. Spinal nerves are mixed nerves that interact directly with the spinal cord to modulate motor and sensory information from the body's periphery. So when we talk about our nerves and our nerve roots, it is the spine. So back to hysteria. Hysteria is a nervous disease. Back to psychology. If you don't study your soul, your body is going to react in a certain type of way. Trust me, I'm not going to be the person that's going to be under the knife or having a symptom so bad that you just feel like I might as well get the surgery. I can't sleep at night. I'm in so much pain. Trust me. Yeah, take this shit away from me. I don't even need this shit no more. Cool. But hysteria, when you look at so we're looking at the etymology, which would be different from the definition. So what is the definition of hysteria? So we can get a more understanding and overstanding of what we're talking about. Exaggerated or uncontrollable emotion or excitement that a lot of people try to keep under wraps for real. This is why a lot of people say, I'm single. I don't want to be in a relationship because you experienced this hysteria and it scared you half to death. You don't have to put a 1 in the chat for that. I already know. A lot of times you can be with somebody, you can be with a man, and the man is so triggering that you rather just be not even in the same vicinity. It can be a good man. He's going to do something that's going to trigger this hysteria. Ungovernable emotional excess and can refer to a temporary state of mind or emotion. And he'll say, calm down. Don't tell me to motherfucking calm down. Tell that bitch to calm down that you was texting last night. Things of that nature. Get this situated. So in real life, it's better to have a job, pay your bills. And I'm not, and trust me, this can be holistic because men typically are raised by women. So our emotional body is very feminine. How we are looking at life as a man, we can have an outlook on life that is so sad, right? We're not in our testosterone. So testosterone for men it's like your secret sauce. Let's talk about this. Testosterone, male development, sperm production, bone and muscle health, fat distribution, red blood cell production, sex drive, mood. Somebody might have told you as a little kid the most important thing to have when getting a girl is money. And you might have been the guy who made money. What was crazy when you got a girl that only liked you for your money? That was the fucked up part about it, wasn't it, my dude? She only liked you for your money, man. How painful was that? See, this is another YouTube video that we never done that we should do. How painful is it when girls only like you for your money? So when this is lacking in the household, somebody got to do it. And if you was a man seeing your mom come up with ways to survive, guess what you did? You normalized it. So when you got with a woman, you said, man, my mama work every fucking day. Your ass supposed to work every fucking day too. Only difference is now that you there. So let's backtrack it though. Your mom had to work. Now you in a situation with a woman, and I'm not saying that women shouldn't work. Matter of fact, I am saying that. I'm saying women should not work at a job, period. It's going to fuck up your whole biology. Let's not mince words with this shit. Because mincing words is what, if you gonna say, I'm going to prioritize my health, then you're going to figure out a way to make money outside of working for that white man. Period. You going to sew, you going to knit, you going to milk cows, you going to sell eggs, you going to figure out something that you're going to do on your farm, in your house, that's going to make you enough money to support yourself. So you can figure out, I'm on my period this week, so I'm going to shut the business down. I'm not doing no deliveries this week because I'm menstruating, and it's good for me to menstruate and rest. Tell your job that. I'm on my cycle this week, so I ain't going to be able to come in. I'm working remote. Well, Cheryl, it's policy that, everybody has to show up. We're doing meetings, and that's not a part of your employee handbook. Patriarchy is a motherfucker. How you gonna want women in the workforce but not give them 5 days off a month? If I had a job, you get 5 menstrual days a month. It only makes sense. Them 5 days that you working during your menstruation, you in fucking overdrive, hyperdrive, trance-like state, altered state of consciousness. No wonder you drinking wine all the time. It's wine o'clock. Cause you coping. Now, testosterone is what we need to be in the game. Not saying that women don't need testosterone, but it definitely should be in balance with your estrogen. When these things are not in place, introducing hysteria. Now, this was originally defined as a neurotic condition peculiar to women and thought to be caused by a dysfunction of the uterus. So, let's just do this. PCOS affects 8 to 13% of reproductive age women. However, 70% of affected women remain undiagnosed worldwide. PCOS is the commonest cause of anovulation and the leading cause of infertility. So when you think about fertility, we're not talking about having kids. We're talking about being able. A lot of people say Jesus is a woman too, because like it is activating that Christ consciousness that gives you the ideas, intuitions to be the person that you're supposed to be in the world. You gotta, and the patriarchy is so deep that it is connected to your fight or flight. It's connected. Your job is connected to your root and sacral chakras. So it's a lot of things that have to take place. And I'm not saying like motherfuckers will course you to death, man. They'll retreat you to death. They'll clash you to death. Right? They'll talk to your ass to death. But how strong are you to separate from the patriarchy? Because the patriarchy is the reason why you going on this retreat. You see how fucked up that shit is? The patriarchy is how you afford to buy all this expensive ass products, all these spiritual products. That's not going to balance out your hormone. Now, the reason that I feel like PCOS is so prevalent and such a serious issue is because the cause of PCOS is unknown. There's no reason to fucking speculate on this shit, though. There's no reason to speculate. And I'm talking about undiagnosed PCOS. Like testosterone taking over. You can just look at PCOS. Like it's hard to like wrap your mind around it. I've been hearing the term for years, but up until like this summer, I've been really like understanding how like doing these events, man, it's crazy. Like in real time, real like spiritual events, most women say, oh yeah, I got PCOS. 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 What you do? I work. I go to school. I work. Okay. Male dominated spaces. I play sports. I work out. Okay. Male dominated spaces. Our biologies are different. So what is the thing that you can do that will help you specifically if you're a woman outside of wanting to be in male dominated spaces? Because it is a level of, understanding and overstanding, intuition, understanding your sacral chakra. Because let's just be frank about this shit. If you play it cool and you don't give that shit up and you wait for the right man that's going to respect and honor you and put you on that particular pedestal, your ass won't have to work. But if you fucking whoever you like, 10 times out of 10, the result of fucking a guy that you like is a life of hard ass labor. I mean, you can get away with it a few times, but the more you do it, the more conditioned you are to just have sex with guys that you like, that you don't even begin to suss out the type of men that really just want to protect and provide. That's all they want to do. So, once again, what is PCOS? PCOS is a hormone disorder that causes the ovaries to produce too much testosterone. Why? Living in this modern world, doing modern things, it's always like, I don't know why this is happening, but I got to get back to work. So hurry up and figure it out. The power of estrogen, the power of red raspberry leaf tea. Like, people are like, well, you a guy. Why are you talking like this? This is my first lifetime as a guy. I'm just learning this guy shit out. But I know a lot about women from a spiritual level. So once again, people, listen, man, trigger alert, trigger warning, man. We got past previous lifetimes. Like, if you don't understand that, that's cool too. But this is all stuff that could be easily researched. You don't, in your own energy space of homeostasis, parasympathetic revelation, raising spiritual intelligence, produce too much testosterone. It is only in your fight or flight. The job is connected to your root chakra and your sacral chakra. Sacral chakra, emotions, root chakra, survival. They call you right now. Charmaine, you got fired. Your survival is now being threatened. And since your survival is being threatened, your ability to feel good is being threatened as well. Now you're in a state of shock. Now you got to figure out where to get hired at. But you got to understand, it's a whole solar plexus that you haven't even reached. Solar plexus reached by Jupiter. If you watch the movie Donnie Darko, it's like this, it's like this, it's like this, I don't even know what you call it. It's like this, liquid, like you just being guided by this, like, yeah, there you go. I'm just trying to find a picture of it. Watch that movie Donnie Darko, man. I was trying to watch it on a Discord. They said it wasn't suitable for people under 18. I was like, we all grown here. This area is your solar plexus. I don't know if y'all can see where my mouse is at, but if you look at his abdomen area, right below his chest, right above his waist, your solar plexus is always going to guide you. But you don't get to your solar plexus when you are in survival mode. Once your mindset is random, that means your emotions is going to be random. So what does this look like? Oh, I don't feel like doing that. So if you don't feel like doing it, you're not going to do it. But if it's a part of your path and you don't feel like do it, guess what you do? You just do it any fucking way. You do what you need to do anyway. So a part of this path is going to be things that you intuitively will know once you begin to meditate. What does meditation do? Meditation and parasympathetic nervous system. This is education. It's not something that I'm just making up. Meditation is very useful to relieve stress via the hypothalamo-pituitary axis. Now, what is that? Those who understand, who've been tapped into Chakra Nova, know what that is. It is just simply another word for saying your chakras. I'll explain. So right here, you have your hypothalamus, your pituitary gland, and then it goes straight down to your male testes and female ovaries, right? These are your sex hormones. Your testes produce testosterone, and the ovaries produce progesterone or this word is goddamn throwing me off. Estrogen. Estradiol was throwing me off. Meditation is considered to be useful to relieve stress and cardiorespiratory health. There are various studies done in the literature whereby the beneficial effect of yoga is proved. The positive effect has been observed on cardiorespiratory and autonomic function. These effects are shifting of autonomic balance to the parasympathetic side and decrease in sympathetic activity. So once again, if you're the type of person, I need y'all to listen so deeply to what I'm saying. If you're the type of person that's going to be in fight or flight, what's in the chat if what I'm saying is making sense? The sympathetic nervous system controls the body's fight or flight response. This is all dealing with your chakras, though, because it's all dealing with your biology. So if you don't activate your root chakra, where you get grounded into this reality and say, damn, I'm connected to this bitch. I got a limited amount of time to be here. So I'm not going to sacrifice this time here fucking slaving or working for somebody, just wasting my life away. For what? And I'm not saying quit your job, but I'm saying if you start to get out of this fight or flight and move to a sympathetic through. So the difference between the parasympathetic system is that you'll be resting. The parasympathetic controls the body's response during rest, relaxation. It's not being lazy. It actually is harder to bring yourself to rest, to bring yourself into parasympathetic system, the parasympathetic nervous system, because when you meditate, you're ultimately saying that the external world can't do shit for me, which is true. The only thing that can do things for you is your soul. So you must study the soul, meaning do your psychology work. Then you figure out what is it I should do, when I should do it, how I should do it. This is the true guru. This is the true retreat. This is the true class. This is the true study. This is the true intuition. You have to do your own work, meaning you have to feel the ways that you're supposed to feel. If you are in fight or flight, tapping into somebody else's class is not going to remove you from that fight or flight. You have to sit with yourself and get out of this fear-based thinking. You have to alter your mindset. Your mindset is your mindset, and your outcome is the same. The problem is most people don't get behind their mindset because you can't even understand your mindset because the fight or flight is so prevalent. Especially with these devices, especially with the propaganda, especially with the brainwashing, especially with the hypnosis. It gets so deep with people that once you start unlocking these layers, you get overwhelmed. But I'm like, I don't want you to get overwhelmed. I just want you to understand it's one or two things this shit can go. fight or flight, making all the money, showing off on people, having a relationship for 2 months until it crash and burn because you don't know conflict resolution. Because when you get triggered, your fight or flight response, this is why you deal with people, deal with men, and you don't submit. You don't surrender because you are triggered and you don't want the same thing to happen in your last relationship where you submitted and you gave in. And then he said, get the fuck out, and you ain't have nothing. And now you're like, oh, I don't want to be in that situation again. So I'm going to make sure that I have my own. I'm going to take care of myself. And so all of this is just boundaries and barriers that stop you from actually connecting. Because men like to protect and provide. Men love to protect and provide. Men want to make your life easier. They want to. They don't want to see their wife working. A man has a business, a man has a vision, and a man needs assistance. For that assistance, you will be compensated with whatever is mine is yours, babe. But if you say, well, I'm not attracted to him. Well, he's not my type. Well, me and him, we just don't have that connection. You can create a connection. I was going to say through faking it, but shit, you can fake a connection. You can learn to love that man. You can learn to respect that man, because what's the alternative? Let's look at grandmas and grandpas. Were they fucking madly in love? Or was they doing what they have to do for their family? Were they going on vacations every fucking month? Or did they have a house? So it's like, I want this dream, fantasy, love relationship, but you ain't even come from that. So basically what I'm talking about is a return to normal. A normal biology, because I honestly, at the end of the day, this might seem sexist. The purpose of this conversation is for a woman to be in her feminine energy, to be attractive, and get a man that doesn't want to see her working 40 hours a week. Right? And the ways for which I know that this works from a biological, metaphysical, spiritual level is through the mode of vaginal steaming. Because let's deal with this. What treatments heal PCOS? In many cases, the first action healthcare providers recommend women with PCOS is that they make specific lifestyle changes. So when we talk about PCOS, doctors will relate it specifically to the way that you live it, such as lower calorie diet, losing weight, getting more physical activity. What are they not going to say? Quit that job. Because it's not just big women that get PCOS, right? It have literally nothing to do with weight. It have everything to do with testosterone. Testosterone is when women try to be in male-dominated spaces and they need to compete. When you at that job, you can't just be at that job and be in your feminine energy and just show up handing vibes out. You're going to have to compete. We need these many memos sent out. We need these many papers filed. We need these many calls hit. These are our goals for the month. Are you with it, Susie, or not? Getting into the game, Susie. We need 4 more signatures. So that turns into your fight or flight. That triggers your survival. That gets you into an emotional state where you don't know if you coming or going. And then you get caught up in the psychosis of being locked into whatever job you're in. And then when you get home, what you do? Fucking fall on the bed fully clothed and pass out until you got to wake up. You damn near want to go and work in the same outfit, but you like, no, I'm going to take a shower and change clothes. So trust me, it's not a weight thing. It's a biology thing. So I wish, but I feel like try like that. There is no, because they will treat the symptoms. There is no cure for PCOS. Let's try like that. Yeah. Polycystic ovary syndrome cannot be cured, but the symptoms can be managed. That's textbook medical. I love my doctor energy. You come there with a problem, they cannot cure it, but the symptoms can be managed. You know what that's like? That's like your body screaming, help me, help me, help me, help me. And you saying, shut the fuck up. That's what your doctor going to do. It's going to tell your symptoms, shut the fuck up. And because your symptoms is saying, shut the fuck up, you feel like you being healed. That's why the people in our family that go to the doctor the most have the most medical issues. Can y'all make that make sense? One's in the chat if that don't make no fucking sense. I just now thought of that. Do y'all know people in y'all family that go to the doctor a lot? Do they have the most medical issues or not? But if a doctor is supposed to be healing you, why would the person that's going to the doctor be the person that suffered from the most goddamn trouble? That don't make no sense. Who you know in your family go to the doctor the most? Do that person have medical issues or not? So if I'm going to the doctor for help, why do I keep going back to this motherfucker then? How the hell that fucking work? That uncle, that aunt, that mama, that daddy going to the goddamn, what's that, dialysis? All that shit doing is telling you, shut the fuck up. Think how crazy that is. And we live in this world trying to go to fucking on a fucking vacation. That shit really just be like, bro, what the fuck? You trying to enjoy life? And your goddamn elders is going back and forth to the fucking hospital trying to get help, but they keep going back and forth to the fucking hospital. And it's like, oh, Hood, you crazy for always talking about them herbs. No, if you 30-something and you not taking herbs, by the time you start wanting to take herbs, nigga, it's going to be too late. Hood, you've been talking about these herbs for years. You damn right. When I go to the fucking Natural Food Patch or 9 Mile in Ferndale, it's old people. They getting the herbs and it's too late, nigga. I'm the only 30-something. I'll be 40 this year, but I've been going to the Natural Food Patch. I've been taking my herbs. I've been into this shit because it's more preventative than it is, oh, I'm fucked up. Let me deal with herbs now. That ain't how it works. Your intuition is never going to tell you that. You start meditating, you will progress through the herbal kingdom. You will progress through the fungi kingdom, right? These are actual intuitions inside of people. And if you're not meditating, thinking, damn, I need to get this herb. I seen this herb in my dream. I keep thinking about this herb. Get the fucking herb, man. Utilize the herb, because the herb is going to be your gateway to getting you out of that fight or flight. Your root chakra, your sacral chakra is compromised because you don't take the proper herbs. You don't do the proper protocols. You don't understand and overstand the proper rites of passage. So once again, vaginal steaming helps reducing the load of the PCOS on your reproductive system. So if you are a woman who has periods every 15 days or 15 days or more, in fact, I know somebody who get periods twice a month. Shit all fucked up. but they finessed y'all into casual sex. Now, when you like somebody, you're in a relationship with them, you fucking them. Like it's normalized. It's normal. It used to be you could be in a relationship with somebody and you really just be getting to know them, especially if you like them. Like ladies, if you really like a man, hold out for as long as possible. Period. Don't fuck them. Even if you was a low down and dirty hoe and you got an itch that you can't scratch. Relate to this person without having sex, you're going to change his whole life. You're going to put that nigga under so many binding spells and witch rituals and ancestral ties. That nigga will be your goddamn slave. The moment you have sex with a man, the magic is gone. I don't give a fuck what he was talking about. I don't care what he looked like. I don't care nothing. Don't fuck. Because let's talk about sperm. What you going to do? How you want it? You want the sperm in your uterus or you want the latex? Pick your fucking poison, one or two. Sperm going to destroy your shit. And then you talk about PCOS, testosterone. How do you even produce testosterone, lady? Oh, I forgot. The casual sex. Dun, dun, dun. Even having a relationship with a man, y'all should normalize having sex without ejaculation. Because even that will help assist in the balancing. Because PCOS is detrimental to every component to life, being that the foundation of life is the uterus. Our life is pertaining to a matrix. When we talk about reality, reality is a matrix. But what is a matrix for real? This is an educational point. People might know this, but some people might not know this at all. What's a matrix, y'all? A matrix is a uterus or a womb. It ain't no facts. Your reality is based upon the witchcraft and magic that you do and how you set your shit up. Your rituals, your spells, your everything about your own personal biology that you get in tune with, the directions. If you decide to take a left and at the left it's a fucking pot of gold, you get to keep that gold and you get to create your life. And people are like, how you get this big old house? Shit, I took a left-hand turn and I goddamn found a pot of gold. Everything that I've ever manifested, everything that y'all ever seen me ever do, that shit came easy because it came from past lifetimes. Once you be able to channel your past lifetimes, this world is easy. If you just this person, Charmaine, that was born in 1972, and this is all you are, you're not even understanding and understanding you in a whole matrix, a false matrix. The real matrix, the uterus in the womb, is every past lifetime that enters into this reality known as you. That's why it's important to study your birth chart, get into like who you are at a spiritual level, because it's going to supersede who you think you are, who you think you were. From matrix, womb, uterus, directly from Latin, matrix, a pregnant animal. Late Latin, womb. Also, source or origin. Also, mother. And now y'all like, well, Hood, you said you was going to do a daily energy reading about the energies of the day, but now you're talking about matrix like you really losing me. Didn't I say that the sun was in Cancer? What does Cancer represent in astrology? So when I get my downloads, I understand that they related to the astrology all the time. Continuing on our journey around the astrological wheel, we take an unusual sidestep and come across Cancer, the crab, the feminine yin polarity, feeling orientated. Soul expresses love in the most profound way and therefore has been anointed the mother of the zodiac. Period. Now, the ways for which you attempt to fight this is having a regular steam, like a regular steaming schedule before your period, after your period. Best solution, you could do once a week or you can do 2 times a month. But you got to do it consistently. It's just like taking a bath. If you took a bath one day and the next day you said, man, I took a bath, I'd be like, cool. 2 months later, you be like, remember that bath you sold me, Hood? I took it. It's no longer working. You need to take another bath. And so what I'm advocating for, what I'm working for is that people understand, one, the value of steaming regularly, and two, that people actually do it. Right? Men understand the value of understanding the woman that they're with, their hormones being imbalanced. Like, what's the point of actually, like, you got to understand a hormonal imbalance is really crazy. To just keep it imbalanced is crazier. And so, yeah, you might like you probably like, damn, she looks good. I love her. She looks so fucking good. She's fly, yo. And then that hormonal imbalance come in, like, man, who is this? Why did I get myself in this situation? You ain't tell me it was going to be like this. Listen, in this society, they did us a number. We can get into the kindergarten. Y'all ever knew about the kindergarten? What kindergarten mean? Shit is sick. Kindergarten is a German word which literally means children garden, garden of children. Froebel, the inventor of it, or rather, as he would express it, the discoverer of the method of nature, meant to symbolize by the name, the spirit, and the plan of treatment. How does the gardener treat his plants? He studies their individual natures and puts them into such circumstances of soil and atmosphere and enable them to grow, flower, and bring forth fruit, also to renew their manifestation year after year. So when you send your kids to school, rather, you ain't think that you were sending them to a garden, did you? You ain't think that they was going to treat your kid like a plant. They was going to study your kid. But when you say German, you also got to know that's Nazi Germany. You sending your kid to a concentration camp. Kindergarten, that's a German Nazi concept that got indoctrinated and incorporated into our way of living. So what like, oh, I'm sending my kid to school. In America is just reestablished Germany, like Nazi won World War II. And the result of them winning World War II is the world that we live in. Germanization. In 1939, Nazis started to kidnap children from foreign countries. And so when they kidnapped them, they had to brainwash them. How they gonna brainwash you into PCOS? That's very simple. Your mama gonna sign your ass up for a school. You gonna send your kid to school right now. You got a little daughter right now. You at work and your daughter is next to some goddamn boys. Talking about what's the answer to question number 5. Little Timmy, do you know? Sarah, do you know? nowhere in the history of life should little boys and little girls be sitting next to each other. That's a mind control. If we did go to school, we went to a boys' school and we went to a girls' school. Because y'all know, y'all was fucking in school. Come on now. After school, your mom at work. What y'all doing over them little boys' house? Okay, I wasn't doing that. I was concentrating on my school. What was you trying to be in life? What was you working hard for? The children classified as unwanted were taken to concentration camps to work or were killed. The children from the other groups, if between the ages of 2 and 6, were placed with families in the program to be brought up with them in a kind of foster child status. The children of ages 6 to 12 were placed in German boarding schools. The schools were assigned to children the schools assigned the children new German names and taught them to be proud to be part of Germany. Every day you go to school, you pledge allegiance to the flag of United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with justice and liberty, forever and ever. That's how that shit works. So when you are in the same school system of a boy or a girl, you don't know the difference between you being a boy and you being a girl. You're just all in the same playing field. And then you get into relationships and y'all all, it's like y'all just lesbians or homosexuals or something like that. Like y'all like the same, y'all in the same sex marriage. Y'all been raised exactly the same. You don't see no difference. It's boys basketball, it's girls basketball. So where you a woman in a male dominated space, you don't feel no pressure behind it because you was raised to be exactly like a man. So when you talk about PCOS and the ways for which you need to heal and deal with it, going to a doctor, which is a symbol of the patriarchy, ideologically, it seems like the best thing to do. But I would say do more investigation into, and I'm not going to be the only person talking about steaming assisting you with PCOS, right? Or even understanding just how fucked up it is to have testosterone invade your uterus because you've been in fight or flight for so very long. You've calcified, you've been in fight or flight ever since you was in school, and you next to little Terry, and when the teacher turned his back, he putting his hands on you, right? And you don't know, boys is boys and girls is girls, but you don't know that that's extremely fucked up. But all you know is that you don't like it. You might have told somebody something one time and they said, you always want to cause trouble. You always want to start some shit. And then you said, all right, I ain't even going to tell nobody. I'm going to just hold this shit in. That's testosterone in your uterus. And all the times you held shit up and was strong and I got to get up and go to work and I got to protect and provide for these kids, all that shit produces testosterone. It's so much of a release that needs to take place over a long period of time that doing a steam one time, not going to actually work. So a lot of times in the messaging of, yeah, you should steam, sometimes people will get it, use it, and be like, well, it didn't work. Right? But you got to automatically think how hard do you try to compete in male dominated spaces? And for some women is not at all, and for some women that's their whole life. It's a spectrum. So if you know that you're very much you compete in your relationships, you compete at school, you compete at the job, you might need to steam for a longer period of time than somebody who just, really adores and loves men and wants to be protected and provided for and could just be in her feminine energy and just kind of just exist because she know that her man is going to pay the bills, her man is going to hold it down. There's a certain level of respect and honor that comes with being with a man like that, right? That if you grew up in public school, you like fuck these niggas. You talking about little Jimmy that got doo-doo stains in his drawers? I'd be damned if I ever respect a man. Like I'm not ever going to do that, right? And that comes from biology and observation. So a conversation that could last for the whole day. I'm going to just end it here. Just felt like I got everything that I needed to say within this conversation off. I excluded some things because it just didn't seem. I didn't want to like distract from the main subject. But we got some new products on the site, some old products, but new again. We have the Yoni steam seat that you could get like the sit seat. You could either set it on the ground. I've seen ladies put it on the ground and sit on it on the ground, or we also will have the Yoni steam chairs that I got to edit this and put that as an option where you can get the seat and the chair so you can just do it yourself. We're going to be working on some like tutorial videos as well. And we also bringing back the womb steaming kit where you could get an ounce of all of these herbs. I think it's an ounce of cohosh root, calendula, chamomile, lady's mantle, lavender, marshmallow, motherwort, mugwort, peppermint, red raspberry, raw dandelion, rose, rosemary, sage, uva ursi, wormwood. Give you all of those herbs for $55. You can make your own steams with the herbs that you personally like, and you could probably get, I would say, 20 uses out of it because it's going to be 20 ounces. And I say that a steam should be an ounce of herbs utilized. But if you don't know anything about steaming or how to do it, it's going to be a lot of videos online that can show you. And like I said, we'll be producing more content because like just doing these events is more of people like saying, well, what is steaming? How do I do it? What does it look like? And we start explaining it to them and we can see their brain like break as we're trying to explain it. So we're going to just redirect the energy and just kind of show you better than we could tell you. And so our events will have like a tablet that just playing the instructions on loop. So people like, well, how do you do it? Just look at this video, show you how to do it, and we can explain it to you from that aspect. But yeah, I feel like this is much needed in the world. And of course, we have our OG. So if you have a steam, you have a seat, or you just want to do it in the toilet, do it in the toilet. You can get 1 month, you get a 6 month, you get a 20, you get a whole year supply. But more or less, you should want to steam 2 times a month. Okay, so we'll give you one steam, and you can use it for once a week, or you can use it for once every 2 weeks, regardless if you want to use 1 ounce or 2 ounces, depending on how much testosterone you have built up in your uterus. But do all of this with the purpose and the hopes that you are getting rid of the mind control and you can tune into your. Once again, we went through this whole spiel about parasympathetic system, relaxing, balancing out your hormones, that I guarantee you, if you do these steps and tap into your inner guide and you tap into your inner school, that will be your salvation. I'm only giving you these tools. I'm only talking about this stuff. Everything that I said, you can reproduce it on your own, right? You can buy the herbs yourself. You can steam on your own. All you need is a pot, water, herbs, a towel, and you can make it do what it do. right? It's many different ways to skin a cat, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna just give you these channels like I'm getting it. Working on a new article in my Blue Magic series, which will be included in the book. So if you want to read the book ahead of time, visit the Substack. But if you want to assist and really help this channel out, pre-order this book. It really helps, grow the channel. It really, gives me the resources that I need to do this work and serve the collective. You know what I'm saying? And at the same time, I always feel like for me running this channel for as many years as I've ran it for, I've felt like if people wanted to help this channel out, I would create business to specifically help people, right? So if you buy a book, yeah, that book's going to help me, but it's also going to help you if you do the work. If you get this Blue Magic book and you want to develop an abundant mindset, because abundant mindset is all you need, because the abundant mindset is going to lead to abundant actions, and the abundant actions is going to create abundant results. And if you continue this process through a period of time, then you can look back and say, wow, I made a lot of money, or wow, I really made something of myself. And so I challenge myself every single day to have an abundant mindset, because it's real easy for me to be in a lack mindset and then just, lay down, give up, not work out, not study, not do a video, all these particular things that it's a challenge for me. Everything that I've ever did have been a challenge because I lived a long time with a lack mindset. I didn't ever think that I was going to have or never do. And I gave up on myself prematurely. So all of the work that I do is post giving up on myself, believing in myself late in the game. So if you're younger, utilize this wisdom, take it seriously. Because when you get older, I want you to be proud that you chose yourself. You need to rest. You need to relax. Go within yourself, because within yourself are the guides, is the way to tell you what you need to do when you need to do it. But if you working, that is your guide, right? If you at school, that is your guide. You got to get them. You got to study. You got to go to class. You got to do all of this stuff. You got to go to work. You got to clock in. You got tasks to do. So it's hard for you to tap into your intuition. So hopefully, if you down on your ass, down on your luck, you ready to be accountable and you ready to change your life, tap in to Blue Magic. This book will be released on my birthday. That's my birthday gift to myself, to help people change their mindset to an abundant mindset. Because once again, all of the things that I talk about is for you to do your own work. So it's going to be a handbook and a journal so you can monitor your mindset, right? If you monitor your mindset, there's no way you can fail, because your mindset is always going to lead to productive actions. And if you do productive things over a long period of time, you will have the results of the things that you do. A rich person is only a person that have done rich things for a long period of time. When you talk about a really rich person, not somebody that hit the lottery, not somebody that just lucked up on something, but really understanding that my mindset is where I'm going to go, and that's what I'm going to manifest for myself. So, yeah, this is something that I'm really pouring a lot of energy and effort into, that it can really help people. So, once again, pre-order, get you 10% off, get it sent to you early, because once it's released, it's going to go back up to $33. But yeah, man, thank y'all for all of y'all support. Thank y'all for tuning in and tapping in this episode of the Daily Energy Reading. I hope y'all enjoyed the show, man. I hope it was something that you can begin to maybe talk about, maybe see it in your mom, see it in your wife, see it in your aunt, see it in your sister. You got to actually see the goddess in them, see the queen in them, and not, like that slave shit. Like I hate it. You know what I'm saying? I really do hate it. I hate the slave mentality. I hate the mass hysteria, the mass psychosis. Like I hate it all. So I'm gonna always speak against it. and just kind of give it to y'all the way that I see it based upon this stream of consciousness that's always flowing through my heart, from my heart to your heart, from my family to your family. It's the Hood Mystic, representing hoodmystic.com. Be sure to check all of the links in the bio. Check my site out, man. Tell somebody about my site. Maybe they need it more than you. Yeah, much love and respect from me to you. And I will for sure catch y'all on the flip side. Hope y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure you like the video. That's very important as well. And I will for sure check y'all on the next video, man. Peace and have a good day.
You are traveling with the Hood Mystic. Time to tap in now. You are now tapped in with the Hood Mystic. Your favorite mystic's favorite mystic. Your favorite astrologer's favorite astrologer.